I wasn't invited to my daughter's wedding until she showed up at my door in her dress. Chapter 1, the invitation that never came. The April sun streamed through my Fairfield cottage window as I sorted through mail. My fingers paused on an elegant cream envelope, but it wasn't what I'd hoped for. Just another charity solicitation. 3 months until July 16th, my daughter Rebecca's wedding day. A wedding I wasn't invited to. If this story of a mother's heartache speaks to you, please hit subscribe to join our community of real stories about family relationships. 5 years had passed since the argument that tore us apart. Rebecca had been dating James for only 8 months when she announced their engagement. "You're making a mistake," I had said, fear disguised as disapproval. "He's not right for you." "Mom, I'm 28, she'd responded with disbelief. "I know my own heart." "You're rushing because of what happened with Daniel," I pressed. "You're on the rebound." Her face hardened in a way I'd never seen before. "Not everyone is like you, Mom. Not everyone sees disaster around every corner." Her words struck deep, reminding me of my failed marriage to her father, who had left when Rebecca was 12. I'd raised her alone, working 2 jobs to provide stability. I thought I was protecting her from making my mistakes. "There's something off about him," I insisted. "The way he isolates you, how he always needs to know where you are. Can't you see the red flags?" "The only red flag is how determined you are to ruin this for me," she said quietly. "He's using you, Rebecca," I snapped. "This isn't love. This is you settling because you're afraid to be alone?" Rebecca looked at me with such hurt that I immediately wanted to take it back, but pride kept my apology locked away. "I feel sorry for you," she whispered. "You've forgotten what love looks like." She gathered her things. "I'm getting married with or without your blessing, but I won't subject James or myself to your judgment anymore." And then she was gone. Have you ever said something in anger that you immediately regretted? Share your experience in the comments below. 5 years of missed birthdays and hollow holidays followed. Through mutual friends, I learned she'd broken up with James months after postponing the wedding. I'd been right about him, but that brought no comfort. Now she was engaged to Thomas, a man she'd met at her school. By all accounts, he was kind and adored her. The wedding was set for July at the Botanical Gardens, where I used to take her as a child. On my refrigerator hung the only recent photo I had, clipped from the newspaper, showing Rebecca with her orchestra students. She looked so much like me that it made my chest ache. I had been wrong to approach things with James the way I did. That mistake cost me my most precious relationship. And now, I wouldn't see her walk down the aisle. Chapter 2. Echoes and Regrets. My phone buzzed with a text from Diane, my closest friend and connection to Rebecca's life. "Call me when you can. Important." "Is Rebecca okay?" I asked immediately after dialing. "She's fine," Diane assured me. "I saw her yesterday picking up her wedding dress." My chest tightened at the image of my daughter in a white gown. "She asked about you, Maggie. Real questions, not just polite ones. Where you're living, if you're still at the library, if you're happy." "What did you tell her?" "The truth. That you downsized to that marina cottage, that you retired early, that you're getting by but with a Rebecca-shaped hole in your life." I closed my eyes against tears. "You shouldn't have said that." "Someone needed to," Diane said firmly. 5 years is too long. Pride has cost you both enough. What's the longest you've gone without speaking to someone you love? Share in the comments below. That evening, I pulled open the drawer where I kept things I couldn't bear to look at. Inside was a velvet box containing my mother's pearl earrings, meant for Rebecca's wedding day, following a generations-old tradition. Next to it lay a sealed envelope with Rebecca's name. Inside was a letter I'd written after learning about her breakup with James, a letter of apologies and regrets I'd never sent. I traced my finger over her name, wondering if there was still time to bridge the gulf between us. Chapter 3. White Lace. And Second Chance's July 16th dawned perfect, ideal weather for a garden wedding. I'd been awake since dawn, imagining Rebecca getting ready with her bridesmaids. By 3 o'clock, she would be walking down the aisle, and I would still be alone with my regrets. This mother's journey from estrangement to hope has resonated with thousands. If you're moved by her story, please subscribe for more authentic narratives that explore family relationships. The knock at 10:17 a.m. was so unexpected that I thought I'd imagined it. When it came again, I made my way to the door with shaking hands. I opened it, and the world stopped. Rebecca stood on my porch in a white lace gown, her dark hair swept up with pearl pins, catching the morning light. For a moment, neither of us spoke. "Rebecca," I finally whispered. "Hi, Mom," she said, voice thick with emotion. "I hope it's okay that I'm here." I could only nod through tears. "My wedding is at 3, she continued. "Everything was perfect. The flowers, the venue, except..." She took a shaky breath. "Except you weren't there. And suddenly, I couldn't imagine walking down the aisle if you couldn't see it." "Oh, sweetheart," I whispered. "I was stubborn," she admitted. "I let 5 years go by because I couldn't admit you were partly right about James. We weren't right for each other. I was too proud to face you. Have you ever let pride keep you from reconciling with someone you love? Comment below with your experience." "I've missed you every day," I confessed. "I tried to call. I wrote letters I never sent." "Diane told me," she said. "Mom, I'm marrying Thomas today. He's wonderful and kind and..." Her voice cracked. "The only thing missing is you. Will you come? Will you help me finish getting ready? And be my mom again?" The sob that escaped me released 5 years of longing. I stepped forward and opened my arms. Rebecca pressed close, her tears dampening my shoulder as mine fell into her hair. "Yes," I whispered. "Yes to all of it." When she pulled back, she smiled through tears. "I'm going to ruin my makeup. You're the most beautiful bride I've ever seen," I told her. "I still need my something borrowed," she said, looking at me meaningfully. Diane mentioned Grandma's pearl earrings. Fresh tears sprang to my eyes. "You remembered." "Every family tradition, Mom." I took her hand, my daughter's hand, after 5 years, and led her inside. "Let me get them for you." "Come back to the hotel with me," she suggested. "Instead, meet Thomas before the ceremony. I want him to know the woman who taught me what strength looks like." Chapter 4. Walking her home. The bridal suite buzzed with activity when we arrived. 3 women in sage green dresses froze when Rebecca announced, "Everyone, my mom is joining us." I recognized Diane, who winked at me with satisfaction. The others were friends I'd never met, part of Rebecca's life during our years apart. I fastened the pearl earrings to her ears, our eyes meeting in the mirror. Her hand found mine and squeezed. "Perfect," a bridesmaid declared. "This mother-daughter journey from estrangement to reconciliation is touching hearts everywhere. If you've been moved by their story, please subscribe to join our community." A knock announced the wedding coordinator. 15 minutes. Rebecca, your father is here." My heart stuttered. I hadn't seen Frank in years. Rebecca took my hands. "Mom, I didn't tell you everything. I've been thinking about this for months, how wrong it felt to plan this wedding without you. Last week I asked Dad if he would be okay with something untraditional." "What?" I asked nervously. "I want both of you to walk me down the aisle. One on each side." "Are you sure? What does your father think?" "He thinks it's a wonderful idea," came Frank's voice from the doorway. I turned to see him in his tuxedo, silver at his temples. "Hello, Margaret," he said softly. He stepped into the room, Our daughter is wiser than we ever were. Life is too short for old hurts to keep us from celebrating important moments together. Have you witnessed a moment of healing that brought your family back together? Comment below. Your story might help someone else. Will you both walk me down the aisle? Rebecca asked. In Frank's eyes, I saw not our failed marriage, but shared pride in our daughter. I realized that some journeys require setting aside old maps to create new ones. Yes, I said, I would be honored. The garden ceremony was beautiful. White chairs on the lawn, an archway of roses, the afternoon sun casting a golden glow. Thomas stood waiting, his face lighting up when we appeared. Rebecca walked between us, one arm linked through mine, the other through her father's. When we reached the altar, the minister asked, "Who gives this woman to be married?" Together we answered, "We do." I kissed Rebecca's cheek before taking my seat. "I love you," I whispered. "I love you too, Mom. Thank you for being here." As I watched her exchange vows, I understood what I'd forgotten. Love doesn't diminish when shared, it multiplies. And sometimes, the most beautiful beginnings rise from what we thought were endings. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reconciliation. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and share it with someone who might need to remember that it's never too late for forgiveness. During the reception, Rebecca pressed a creased photograph into my hand, us on our old porch swing laughing together. On the back, in my handwriting, "My Rebecca, my heart, always." I carried this with me for 5 years, she confessed, even when I was too stubborn to call. As Thomas claimed her for another dance, she squeezed my hand one last time. Welcome home, Mom, to my life, to my heart. In that moment, amid the joy of a day I thought would pass without me, I knew that sometimes the most beautiful journeys bring us back to where we belong.